It's great to be here. And I know that I have people from different places and from different countries and different backgrounds and all that. So I'm Dr. Orlando, and it's my pleasure to be here. I am taking this session today, and I will also be taking it with one of my colleagues. So if you don't mind, everybody, can we all just go in the chat room and just introduce ourselves? I would like to know three key things, your name and what, well, maybe four things, right? So let me type them out in the chat room. So one will be your name, and then I'd like to know what exactly is uh your role. Yeah, okay. Name, organization, close role, and if you what your expectations for this session will be. So very quickly, I would like to know that from everybody. So I've got Abdullah, I've got different people here. I've got Mr. Ayo Kungi from in here. I have one of my big bosses, Benjamin, from Ghana. Benjamin. I have another big boss, Charles from Ghana. I have Chinelo here. Uh, I've got Chukuma here. I've got, who else do I have here? I have Fumilayo here. And of course, I've got my co-trainer here today, Orakwe John. I've got Quincy here. I've got Socrates. Wow, Socrates, such a long time. How you doing? And I've got somebody who's also another big boss of mine. His name is Shalakwe. He's also on the call. So this is a big one. So please, everybody in the chat room, just so that we can clarify the expectations from everybody. So if you don't mind, please, very quickly, right? If you don't mind, very quickly, please, quick introductions from everybody. Quick introductions from everybody so that we can get on with the session as it is, right? A quick introduction from everybody will be great. Okay, right? Very quickly. Thank you very much, Ayokungi. Thank you. Oh, this is Imole, right? I didn't know that. Right, Imole, it's great to have you here. Wow. Right, this is beautiful. Imole, it's great to have you here. It's great to have you. It's great to have you here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Brilliant to have a big, a big man like you on the call. Uh, Quincy, right? Yes, Quincy, I remember. Quincy, I should hand over the training to you to deliver. Quincy, hand I should hand this over to you to deliver. Thank you very much. It's great to have you. It's great to have you here as it is. Any other person, any other person. Thank you very much, Quincy. It's great to have you here. Any other person? Can I hear from others? Mr. Benjamin, once again, you should take this training class. People like you should not just be my participants, you should be my co-trainer. All right. So thank you very much. It's great to have you. It was great to have you here. Who else do I have here? Who else do I have here? All right. All right. Who else do I have here? Okay. Our very own, okay. Abdullah Musa, Active Edge. Great. Ah, brilliant. Abdullah, it's great to have you. It's great to have you here from ActiveEdge. Great. Who else do I have? I have Sport from Capgemini, India. Woo! Ah, that's good. That's good. Thank you very much, Mr. Kotharu. Mr. Kotharu from India. I have Wanda Gaya from here, Ghana Education Service. Thank you very much. You're a teacher. I like that. I like that. From Laya, thank you very much. Thank you. It's great to have you here. It's great to have you here. I've got a lot of other people on the call, so if you don't mind, so please go ahead and introduce yourself. I will start the session in the next 3 minutes. I will start the session in the next 3 minutes. Okay. Okay. All right. Ikechukwu, great. It's great to have you here, Ikechukwu. It's brilliant to have you here on the call as it is. Okay. Um, it's a lot to try to get done today. It's a lot to try to get done today. Um, I'm going to try to do this very quickly as it is. So, okay, okay. So, once again, who else do I have? Roles that I have. I have Simon from here. Okay, Net Secure. Thank you very much. I have Kende Alabi, who is a SOC analyst. I have the big man, Mr. Charles Oena Oti. Charles is a big man. Charles is a very big man.
Fine.
I
I
have
have
I, all right. I have Ayo Dada here. All right. Thank you very much, Ayo Dada. It's great to have you here on the call. So it's indeed my pleasure to have everyone here. Uh, AI is many things to many people. AI is many things to many people. Pretty much almost a confusing or near confusing like area of work, and it's good that we can demystify it to an extent. It's good that we can bring our thoughts and opinion together relative to it. So that's good as it is. Okay, good, good, good. Who else do I have? As I said, I'm Dr. Orlando. It's my pleasure to be here. Chukuma, it's great to have you here. I'm Dr. Orlando, and it's my pleasure to be here. You should you can send the link to your friends. I think AI is for everybody. I definitely think that AI is for all of us. I don't think it belongs to just a set of people. I think it's for all of us. I think all of us should be AI specialists of some sort. I don't even think you and I will be able to survive into the future if we don't know something about artificial intelligence. And I don't mean knowing it at some high level. I mean knowing it and knowing it deeply as it is. I was saying to people at the beginning of this year, I was saying to them that everybody should
I was
have.
telling you now that I've
Okay,
seen your face now,
can
I
you
know
help
it.
me?
You can every
Can
time
you
you
help
go
me
deep, I
mute
don't
that
understand.
person? Can you help me mute that
Every time you
person?
go deep,
So,
yeah, I follow
right.
you.
So I was saying to
So,
people at the beginning of
I
this
haven't dealt with
year
your stuff,
that
but for now,
everybody should have a
when you practice it,
personalized AI strategy, right? That everybody should have their own personalized AI, artificial intelligence strategy as it sees. So, and I still think so. I still think that everybody should have their own personalized AI strategy. It's still my thoughts, whether it's for your career, whether it's for your organization, it doesn't really matter whether it's for your career or it's for your organization. You should have your personal AI strategy. Before I rush into this, one more thing. Can anybody or everybody give me their own definition of AI? And I don't mean an AI definition of AI. I don't mean a Google or WhatsApp AI definition of AI. I mean your personal definition of AI. Can anybody help me with that? Can anybody help me with your personal definition of AI? Your personal definition of AI. Anybody and everybody, please. I have some experts on the call. I have Femi Olujare, who is an expert. He's our co-pilot expert. He's on the call. Hopefully, I have Ayola, who is who was showing me the iris data set, and we were looking at the iris data set some days ago. I have also some people that are on the call who have their own definition. I want to allow Mr. Orakwe to speak because Mr. Orakwe is an expert and he's also going to be taking this session with me. So can I hear everybody? Yeah, okay. Himalaya says that the guy can always run to make everything simple and easy. I like such a definition. I like that type of definition. That's the kind of definition I was hoping to have. I don't want anything that is AI. I just want to hear your own personal thoughts and your opinion with regards to AI in itself. Who else? Who else? Can anybody else give me their personal definition of AI? Anybody at all? Anybody? Quickly. I want to do this very quickly so that I can get on with my session. I'll do my session in exactly 30 minutes. I'll do my session exactly in 30 minutes. Then I'll hand over to Mr. Orakwe. Mr. Orakwe is actually my tutor. I attended a course and he designed the course, he presented the course. So he's some kind of global expert when it comes to artificial intelligence. And I felt that on a day like this, um, I should have this class with him. I felt that on a day like this, he should be in here, inside of this class. So please, I won't allow Mr. Orakwe to say anything until I hand over to him. He's a brilliant gentleman, and I learned quite a bit from him, even that course that I attended at Ikidia, as it is. Who else has a definition? Can somebody else? I'll take one more very quickly. Chukuma says, my personal assistant. I like that. Chukuma, I like that. Who else is here? Mr. Moses, good day to you, Moses. How you doing? Moses said, he is the guy that learns enough to be able to carry out the various tasks on my behalf. I like that also. I like that definition. This is the guy that learns a lot to be able to do things on your behalf. That's a brilliant definition. One more. I'll take one more and I'll jump straight into my presentation. I'll make my presentation in exactly 30 minutes, and then I will hand over to Mr. Orakwe, who will spend another 30 minutes. And I'm telling you, I mean, you definitely need to listen to Orakwe do his own side. And then we will then have enough time for questions and answers. Ikechukwu, thank you very much. Your productivity enabler. Brilliant, brilliant.
But
Good, good.
Odejide now, sir. Kí ló ṣe
Okay,
ọba
okay.
tó?
Can that person please mute their microphone? Right? Right. You all right. I think I was on mute. I was muted too. Okay. All right. Good. Let me jump into this. All right. Let me go straight into my presentation. Please confirm you can see my screen, everybody. Brilliant. I think everybody should be able to see me. Right? Good. So this is what ChatGPT produced as my image. So this is my birthday image. This is my birthday image. So today happens to be my birthday. So thank you very much, everyone. A lot of people have said happy birthday to me already today. So and I can imagine. So this is the birthday this is the birthday edition of my this is so one of my colleagues shared this with me and said that this is that's me, and I laughed, right? So once again, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. So I'm not sure I'm this big, but yeah. But I really like the image though. I think it's a very funny image and it looks so this is what ChatGPT says that I look like. Right. Anyways, yeah, right. So our organization is A4S. So our organization, we're called A4S, and we're just an ISO It's just an ISO focused on the organization. That's what we do. We do ISO
I'm not using my card.
audits,
Can you in my
advisory, and
hair?
even
Okay,
training.
everyone
Can you,
is
can you mute? Right. Okay. Good. Thank you. Okay. So, we this is our organization. We're called A4S, and we do everything ISO, various types and categories of ISOs that we do as as an organization. So some of them they're on the business side, some of them on the IT GRC side. We do a lot of work around sustainability and also around quality, health, safety, and of course even on the climate side. So a lot of what we do is completely independent audit and advisory and training. So we're independent of the organizations and all the great work that they do in there. All right. So yeah, this is who we are. You can follow us. I'm sure my colleagues will put some of the links in the chat room. Well, you can follow us on social media. We have monthly webinars. Some of them are around sustainability. Some of them are around all sorts of other ISO standards. I have had requests from different people asking that we should do something on AI, and I decided that this would be like my birthday gift, so to speak. So I decided that I'll just do this AI thing today as it is. So once again, thank you very much, everyone, for being here and taking the time to join us on this call. So I don't do any of these things alone. I do them with an entire army of people. So it's impossible to do the volume of the things that we do all by myself. So I work with an entire army as it is, and this is not even all of them. So a big thank you all once again to all the great people, especially in A4S. We also have people in Training Heights, our training organization. I don't have their pictures here, but I don't get to do any of these things all by myself. I've got people that I'm working with in different capacities to be able to drive and to ensure that these things happen adequately. All right. So yeah, as I said, please look for Orakwe John, and you can also look for me on LinkedIn. You can follow us, you can follow Orakwe. Orakwe has the mission. Araki says that he wants to, is also one of those people that want to educate the entire world with regards to artificial intelligence, and we're really excited to have him here on the call in here. So I'm going to be talking about governance and management of artificial intelligence, and it applies to every kind of organization. It doesn't matter what type of organization that you have. Everybody should worry about artificial intelligence, whether you're government or your private institution. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. You definitely should worry about artificial intelligence. What is it? How are you doing it? The how do what works, what does not work? How can you take advantage of this in your own organization? I mean, it's a variety of things when it comes to the to artificial intelligence. And I put this up because I think once again it's important. I think all of us should have, and I think the last point that I made here is is my favorite of all. I think every organization should have their own custom developed AI strategy that fits their own purpose. I also think AI really should be about solving problems and just ensuring that organizations are more effective and efficient. It's about problem solving, it's about effectiveness, it's about efficiency. It's not a buzzword, if you're still thinking about artificial intelligence as a buzzword, as something that is just like a nice to have, then you're missing the point. You're missing the point, and you're not going to be able to take advantage of what artificial intelligence is if you're still thinking that it's just fashion or it's fad as it is. So it's about tangible results that ensure that whether it's at the personal level or it's at the corporate level, that your goals are achieved. That's really what it is. It is about tangible results for yourself, for your organization. I do think that everybody should go and ask themselves, if you're here primarily for yourself, I think the question is, what do you need to do as a person? If the question is about if it's for your organization, so you're representing your organization in whether irrespective of the department that you're in, I do think that you also need to answer that question that, how can this artificial intelligence help us as an organization to meet our objectives, goals as an organization? And this transformation and this accelerated transformation that I spoke about, number three here, how can you achieve it? How can you achieve it? And I tell you that this is what companies everywhere. I'm blessed to work for different companies in different locations across the world. This is what everybody's thinking about, and nobody really has, nobody can give you that answer like, just off the cuff. Your organization has got to think about its own challenges, its own uniqueness, and craft out something that works specifically for you. So if you take nothing away from this session today, you can take this away. You can take this particular bit away, even if you take nothing out of this particular session in here. So go back and start to think about yourself if you're here for yourself, or your organization if you're here representing your organization. Go away and start to say to yourself that, what do I need to do? What do we need to do? The finance department, the HR department, the sales department, the marketing department, what exactly do we need to do as it is? So, as I said, it's about, I was working with a client recently, and I was saying to them that, your AI strategy has got to provide an answer to these things, at least at the enterprise level. How can we make more money, more revenue? How can we increase our profit? How can we do cost of optimization within the organization? We've got to take AI beyond just being able to query ChatGPT. That's a great place to start. Prompt engineering, your ability to be a smart prompt engineer, at least a prompt engineer user, not prompt developer. Your ability to be able to do that is going to be like your ability to use Windows or to be able to use Microsoft Word after a while. So it's important that you can solve problems at an organizational level. And I think that I was speaking with the insurance industry some weeks ago, and I was telling them that, I think the entire insurance industry needs to think about this much better. I think they need to, it's not just about buying a product. There's a lot that an organization needs to think about in terms of, how do I solve problems? How do I improve as an organization in specific areas, using and leveraging artificial intelligence in here. I'll move on very quickly. I put this up because I was speaking to with Miwa. Miwa leads the business of Training Heights in Nigeria, and hopefully in many other parts of the world soon. And he was saying that, so that AI does not, we don't start to teach artificial intelligence like soft skills training. And I found it to be extremely funny because so I go for seminars, I go for webinars, I go for all sorts of things, and people start to speak about artificial intelligence like it's like negotiation or one of those things. It's beyond that. There's a technical side to the work, and there's a lot that everybody needs to go away thinking about. So I put these two things here for the people who so if you attend the session, as I said, you can still send the link to a lot of people. We will also share with you some kind of assessment exam, and just to test your AI knowledge as it is. So you can do that. I will also be nice to everybody that has attended. I will send you one of these templates. Actually, I'll send you both templates as it is. I'll send the templates to you. So before I go ahead, is your organization thinking along these lines, right? Your organization, are you thinking along these lines? Do you have any kind of AI policy in your organization? Boards and executives need to think about these things. All right. So you have to go beyond just information security, business continuity, health and safety, quality. Those are great things, right? Those are brilliant things. But you've got to go beyond that. Any modern organization right now needs to think about these things. It needs to start to say, do we have an AI policy as an organization? How can we develop an AI policy for our own organization that is specifically fit for us? And how can we also develop some kind of acceptable use policy for AI? Can we allow people to start to use AI however it is that they think they need to use AI? I don't think so. It shouldn't be. So so this is key. And if you're representative of your own organization and you're here on this call, this is a big question. Does your organization have these things? Have they been signed off by the board and the executives? Because like it or not, somebody in your organization is already using AI for one thing or the other. Can we allow them to use it however it is that they want to use it? You know, the topic here is the governance and the management of artificial intelligence. So how do we govern and also manage how we use, build and adopt artificial intelligence within the organization? And this is key. This is important. And this is essential. You can't do this. You really cannot do this uh, without, you really can't do this without having these types of things. So if your organization has this, it'd be nice to know, how did you arrive at that? How did you get here as an organization? How's this going to work? You can also see on my right, you can see something around ethical use. So one key point for everybody that is on the call is go away asking with an objective, right? Go away with an objective that says that you must compulsorily, as an organization, come up with these two things over the next couple of weeks, right? Over the next couple of weeks, you must compulsorily, you must compulsorily uh, do this. So take that as an action point. My organization needs to have an AI policy, an acceptable use policy for AI in our own organization. If I'm coming to review you, if I'm coming to audit you during a training class, we will look at these things in detail. Let me move on very quickly. Okay, so everybody, if you're going to build some kind of side hustle, which of these side hustle things will you do? I can also share this with you. Different tools that you can use to do this. If you're going to be a professional in one of these areas and you're going to be like some kind of AI expert, which one will you pick? Can everybody go to the chat room if you don't mind? What will you pick here? Whether you call it your line of work, your professional line of work, your interest, whatever you call it. Everybody go into the chat room. What is your take? Everybody must pick one quickly. I want to go into the chat room. If you were going to build an area of specialization, what is it going to be? Everybody, I want everybody to go into the chat room. Everybody, just give me the number. All right, Baba Tokwa, thank you very much. Give me the number. Give me your number, everyone. Everybody, give me your number. Give me your number. Okay. So everybody, website, good, good, good. Everybody, right? Mr. Femi Adari, thank you very much for being here. Yes, absolutely. Good. I did do it. Thank you. Vitola, right, right, right. Okay, good. So, I mean, I'll share this with you also. It's not a secret. I'll share it with you. You've got tools and and platforms that allow you to know, how do I build expertise around this. So I'll share this with you. If you're here, I will definitely share with you. But yes, everybody can. We all need to become AI, AIized as it is. All of us, we all need to be AI people. We don't have a choice. It's like, once again, I like the way Professor Ekwekwe puts it. He said it's like, when people go to computer school because they want to be computer literate, all of us must be AI literate. And we have to even go beyond just being AI literate. All of us need to be some kind of AI expert or the other. I move on very quickly because of our time as it is. So, should organizations be building or buying AI tools? I want to get your opinion in the chat room. Should companies be building or buying or both? Right? And then the other question is, I was with a company in pensions recently, and they're trying to solve a problem in their, like, this is a corporate problem. And I was saying to them that they're not going to find anything online, or like just an off-the-shelf tool that is going to solve that problem. That whether they like it or not, they have to build like their own a large language model of some sort. that they've got to build their own LLM. Whether they like it or not, they have to build their own LLM. So please give me your thoughts and your own opinion. An organization has got a problem of revenue. They want more revenue, or they want to reduce costs, or they want to stop employee attrition. Can they just buy a tool online that will be able to solve their problems? I don't think so. We're building something in the insurance industry. My colleague Ayala, if is here, we're building something in the insurance industry that to we're trying to to consolidate 10 years of insurance reports specifically for Nigeria, because the things we want to resolve, we're not going to find the information available online. The things we want to resolve, the information is not available online. We're going to have to build something specifically for ourselves. So there's a lot of thinking around this. Honestly, there's a lot. So I want to hear your thoughts and your opinion. Can an organization, can they just buy an off-the-shelf tool that will help them? Right? Because what I see recently is that people just want to buy. You know, they talk about AI, and the first thing they're thinking about is, what do we go to pay for? What do we go to buy? There's a company that I know that they're consolidating 20 years of annual report. Everybody, did you hear that? They're consolidating 20 years of their annual report. Did you hear that? Now, can you really just buy that? Will that ever work? Because they need specific intelligence. They need specific intelligence. So, should organizations be, should I say, forgive me, but should I say blindly buying, right? Should organizations be blindly buying um, AI tools and platforms to solve specific business problems? That's something you've got to look at. People just want to go online and they just want to buy something. But what they need, you know, AI is completely data dependent. So the organization that is putting 20 years of their own annual reports together so that they can then build a model around it. There's a reason why they're doing that. There's a reason why they're not just looking for random data online to be able to tell you, because they're trying to fix a specific problem. You know, people think about AI primarily from a research perspective, but AI is beyond just research. It is beyond just that. So once again, share your thoughts with me, right? How should organizations be solving specific problems that they have using artificial intelligence, right? So they're saying that, you know what, we're trying to build a product for this customer segment of ours. If they use ChatGPT, is it going to help them generally? Sorry, it will help them generally, but will it help them specifically? They have their products, they have the uniqueness of their own organization. Can they just do that? So once again, share your thoughts with me. I mean, some of you work in large enterprises. How are you using AI to solve your own supply chain problems? Because you've got a specific supply chain problem with drivers, problems with transformation, problems with all sorts of things. Can you solve those problems just using existing data sets that sit around the world, or you need to build something specifically? I think at an enterprise level, organizations really need to build something. I think any forward-looking organization needs to start to build needs to start to build capabilities internally. You need developers, whether you like it or not, right? Or you at least you need to be able to hire a development company to build something specific for your own organization. I'm not talking about buying things that have AI capability. You know, in information security, for example, everything from Checkpoint, Cisco, from Forescout, everything has got AI capabilities embedded within them. Every SIM has got AI capabilities. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about core business problems and how to resolve those problems. That's what it is that I'm referring to. Let me move on very quickly because of time. So I mean, I, you've got to have your own strategy. I've talked about that. There is a specific risk that organizations are facing relative to artificial intelligence. Every organization is facing a specific type of risk. Once again, I'm not speaking generally here. I'm very focused on your own organization, XYZ Insurance, ABC Bank, EFG Pension Organization, DEW, whatever it is, manufacturing company. So I'm not speaking generally here. I think organizations, the same way you're going to start to think about your own company strategy, you have to start to think about AI strategy specifically for your own organization, AI risks specifically for your own organization. What exactly is ethical? What do you want to drive? Majority of the people here, you're not the national owner of your own organization. That's not what we're talking about here. So we're talking about the ethical use of AI in your own organization. I've shown you a sample of a policy. How do you enable all your processes using AI? How do you enable your employees, your people using AI? Can anybody in any department, we talk about shadow IT, right? So this shadow IT that we're talking about, what about shadow AI? Shadow AI tools where people are just going to go in the department and they're just going to either buy or adopt some AI tool against whatever it is that might be the culture or even the ethical landscape in the organization. Most importantly, decision making. If you look at corporate governance according to 37000 ISO 37000, there is real the decision making, data driven decision making is one of those elements under corporate governance. I'm not talking about IT governance here. I'm talking about corporate governance, right? They put something in there that talks about the decisions that you're making as an organization being driven by data. So once again, you should go out of this meeting thinking about these things. You should leave here thinking to yourself that what do these things mean to us as at an organizational level? Yes, some of you are information security experts. You can think about these things from an information security perspective. Some of you are business continuity experts. You can think about these things from a business continuity perspective. Different people are in different places and they think about different perspectives. But I'm saying that you're here, you should be thinking about this from a company perspective. You need to start to ask yourself, how do I do this? What is the best way for me to do this as an organization as it is? All right, let me move on once again. So I'll talk about these 6 standards. I'm really trying to rush. Maybe somebody says I should slow down a bit, but all right, it's because I'm mindful of your time. I know that a lot of people are at work, right? But okay, so let me slow down a bit and I'll just extend my own time slightly just so that I don't rush through this too much. One of my colleagues, even in my own organization, was asking that, I only know that ISO has got one standard for AI, and that is 42001. And I was like, yes, that's a management system, but that's not that's just a management system. In fact, you can't even do that except you've already dealt specifically with the other standard. Then the person was asking me, said, which other standard? Then I had to show the person. I said, there's so many other standards and I've picked 5 apart from the 42001. And I think the 5 of them, people should know about them. People should find out what is the importance of these 5 standards and how can these things help. If you ask me, right, I think 42001 is something you should do later, right? I think the first 2 things an organization should worry about is um ISO 22989, right? And it's actually a free standard, right? But it's a brilliant standard because it really talks about some of the technical parts to um to AI in itself. It speaks about the technical sides of AI, right? So that's the first standard, the 22989. It's a deep standard. It deals with all the basics that you should know. The other one you should worry about, and I'm going to speak about it slightly before I get out of your face and allow Orakwe to come in, is the 23053, which is AI using machine learning. As Muiwa said, right? AI is not soft skills. AI is not a conference. AI is not what's that thing? A television program, right? AI is not even LinkedIn. Now we have so many LinkedIn experts. So the people talk about AI every day. We're talking about it's beyond just that. So if you ask me that, Dr. Orlando, tell me two, right? I should take away 22989 and 23053. Those are top two, right? Even before you start to worry yourself about the management system, most organizations are far from the management system. Most organizations should be dealing with the basics, right? Then later you can then go and start to look at 23984 in itself, and then 5338. So all the standards are available. So this is what everybody knows, right? And I see a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm lead implementer, lead auditor." I'm like, why are you doing that, right? Because you're not close to, most organizations are not close to this level yet. They're not. This is not where they are. You can't be trying to build a management system around something that you don't have. So, I mean, my favorite saying in the world is that you can't give what it is that you do not have. So this is not your problem as of today. It would be nice if your organization wants me to come to audit them around this. Please call me. I'm happy to do it. I just don't think that this is where a lot of organizations are. This is not where they should be worried as of today, right? They should worry about this. And this document is free. I don't know, maybe some of you, some of the intelligent people on the call, you can get the link and share it with everybody that is here. It's a free document, and it's a brilliant document, and it's a deep document, right? So it really forms the foundation for artificial intelligence, right? I mean, before I even saw this document or read it or looked through it, I was picking up AI knowledge from random places, and of course from Microsoft and all that. But this really gave me that non-vendor knowledge around artificial intelligence. So once again, this if you're going to take only one of the standards, go and learn about this, especially if you want to be a practitioner of artificial intelligence. Go and learn about this. And if you look for it, one guy on LinkedIn was always posting the link. So maybe if you've got that, and if I find it on my computer, I'll post it. If you can find it, you can put it in the chat room. So, but this is the standard. This is the background. This is the foundation. 42, everybody's worried about 42001. You should worry about 22989. That is the standard. You need to know, and you need to know it cold, and then you need to start to learn about how to apply it within your organization, right? There is also, I mean, this is a risk document. So it's really just talks about the risks around artificial intelligence. Is useful. It's great for you to know about. And yeah, you can spend some time looking at it. This is also good. Remember, there's a standard called 38 uh, 38,500, which is a standard for IT governance. So this is like an extension of that particular standard. 38,500. So which is a standard that is aligned to COBIT, right? And it's a brilliant document, right? And they've updated it. I think they updated it last year. So for organizations that are worried about IT governance from an ISO perspective, you can look at ISO 38,500. But this is now talking about how do you apply governance governance of IT within artificial intelligence. It's a brilliant document. Also, you need to learn a lot of things to be able to apply these things. And then, of course, this is talking about a life cycle uh, around AI. So this is primary. I'll say for me, this is primarily for organizations that are doing a lot of building, whether you're like a software development company or you're like some kind of yeah, any kind of company that does artificial intelligence applications development, you should look at this. But yes, today I'll also quickly speak about this because I've spent a lot of the last couple of weeks just looking at different machine learning models and Google Studio, Azure Studio, and many other things. So this is technical. This is not for the weak at heart. It's not for the faint at heart. This is a bit technical, so you should look at. So once again, you need to know the technicalities. You also cannot be one of those people that are just doing buzzword things. You're just talking about AI and flinging the conversation everywhere. there's something we're looking at yesterday. We're looking at my colleague. We're looking at Zoho's ZIA Zia. We're looking at Zoho Zia and also the Zoho. What was the other thing? Zoho has a data model, and we're trying to incorporate it into something. So we spent a lot of our time just looking at the Zoho platform yesterday and how to incorporate those tools within some of the other things that we are doing internally within the organization. So once again, 22989, that document, and then the 2053, 23053 I think are two very important documents that you might want to look at. It's probably after you've done all that you might even want to move to 42001. The good thing about the 42001 is that it's the only requirements document. So if an organization wants to certify, it's got to come down to the 42001. And I think I have a slide somewhere for 42001. That's it. So this is it. Sorry. Right. So uh it's not very different from other management systems for the people who are familiar with management systems that are on the call. It's not significantly different. But as I said, organizations are far from this. I don't I don't see how a there's a lot you must do as an organization for you to pass this kind of audits, right? There's a lot, right? It also means that you've really come to terms with how you're using AI in the organization, whether you're building, whether you're buying, whether you're adopting. You must have gotten to a certain level of maturity. Otherwise, this does not apply. So I know a lot of people are getting certified. I can see people on LinkedIn in their CVs, 42001 LILA. In Africa, a lot of people like a lot of us like certifications and qualifications, right? At least so that we can have something to put on LinkedIn, which is great. But this is beyond that. If you look at that 6.1, they've introduced another concept called the system impact assessment. That means all that is beyond just looking at risk and opportunities. They've added a third layer to it. Also, there's some controls. So, like 27001, the annex is the most important thing in that place. The annex here is also a big deal. So you have to look at the annex that are put at the bottom. Annex A, Annex B, and Annex C. AI, apart from the risk, the controls around it. Remember that it's like when we're doing cloud security, right? When we're doing cloud, we have to think about cloud from both the client says, oh, cloud, then we start to say, where's the inventory of the IaaS and where is the inventory of the SaaS? Those are two different things, right? The inventory of IaaS versus the inventory of SaaS. So there's a lot that you've got to think about when you're talking about how you're using artificial intelligence. Are we talking about the ones you're building internally, or are we talking about the ones that you're subscribing to? So I can talk about this all day, but I mean, discussing this will mean that we don't get the opportunity to listen to Mr. Orakwe here. And even I'm keen to listen to him. He's got very great thoughts around it. But eventually, this is what organizations will do. I know that eventually. So, but once again, in Africa, it's the regulator that drives everything. If CBN or Bank of Ghana or Bank of Kenya says, oh, people should get certified to this, people start getting certified to it. But it's beyond just getting certified. There was a session I was on this week. I was saying that a lot of people are doing their data protection filing in different countries in Africa. And I think I've worked in 5 different countries across Africa around data protection. And I've seen that people are doing the filing. The authority is even accepting the filing payments and the filing modalities, but people are not really implementing or adopting the act and ensuring that the requirements are appropriately implemented. People are not doing that. People are not doing that. People are just doing their annual filing. So, anyways, enough about that. I don't want to spend all my time talking about that. This is the other document now, as in I'm spending a lot of time around here working with our teams internally, right? So this is where we lose this is where we drop the boys from the ladies because the ladies are stronger. The ladies are stronger. The ladies are smarter. This is for ladies, not for men or not for boys. Ladies, do I get a round of applause in the chat room? Ladies are stronger because here we're really talking about we're even taking we're taking it away from the other document. We're now specific to machine learning. We're very specific to machine learning. And in this particular document, they've talked about the various tasks within machine learning in itself, right? So how do these things happen? And once again, the good thing about ISO is that, ISO is not it's completely vendor agnostic. It is not AWS. It is not Azure. It is not Microsoft. It is not Google, right? It's not Google Collab as it is. So the document says he's looking at machine learning and the key tasks that your model is going to be able to give to you in terms of capabilities and activities. So that is under the task. Also, if you look at the middle of this, you will see somewhere in there that says a model. And I like that definition. So I copied it out of the standard, right? I was showing to, it was me, I was like, me, your math has got to be good. People thinking that this AI is like something you just mouth and just talk about it. That's like, if you're going to be a good machine learning developer, your math has got to be very good. And I have someone like Binga, maybe he's on the call, who is a mathematician and a developer. So, and I openly, right? So it's talked about some of the tasks. And then so I've been looking at something around the machine learning approaches. Honestly, until I looked at this document, I never really did think about these 7 approaches. Everybody, can you see under the part where we have the machine learning approaches? All right. So I never really did think about it this way. Okay, until I looked at the entire 7 of them as clearly defined and documented in this particular standard, right? And then uh, I've got a friend, Yinka of PSC. He does this machine learning pipeline things, and he does it on Azure. So there's a technical side to these things. I know that the non-technical people, by the time we get to this portion, they're like, Orlando, what exactly are you talking about? But this is important, and we can't run away from this, everybody. There's uh there's no running away from the technicalities that is involved. The use and the adoption of artificial intelligence is just beyond just chat GPT, which is what everybody knows, and which is what a lot of people are very familiar with in itself. So this is the machine learning side of things. There are so many things that we can talk about here, right? The task, the model, the data, the tools, and the techniques. So I mean, look at the data categories under data, from training data to validation data to test data and then to production data in itself. And then look at the tools and the techniques. So so some of you, if you get to, and by the time you get here, some of you that have science or engineering backgrounds will begin to look at this and like, okay, are we talking about Bayesian network in here? That dude, I left university a long time ago, and not all of us need to be developers, right? Not all of us need to be experts in the building. Some of us are just going to end up being users of artificial intelligence. Some of us are going to become analysts, right? So just like, I mean, in application development, not everybody has to be a developer. There's still the need for a business analyst, because when I keep talking about how we're going to use it, are we going to build? Are we going to buy? What are we going to adopt? What are the ethical considerations? All those things are the things that the analysts are the ones who will drive a lot of those conversations. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the engineers that will drive some of these conversations. But this is a brilliant diagram, and it comes directly from there. Yeah, I mean, so once again, I like this, right? So who are the algorithm developers that are on the call? Please put your name down in the chat room so that we can come to you. Who are the core people who are very good? Microsoft has got that Python 21-day challenge, right? So please, somebody can drop the link, right? and it's not very difficult actually, right? So you can do it. It's not that difficult, except you're completely averse to technical things. But it's actually not that difficult. So you can get on top of this. Yeah, I mean, supervised, unsupervised, and I think I was looking at, yes. So if you look at this pipeline, right? So this is like a machine learning pipeline, right? So I know somebody on this call, as I say, Yinka, he sets up things like this on Azure. I know some other people who set up things like this on AWS in itself. So especially if your organization decides that you're going to build, and the kind of, maybe your organization is going to have its own LLM if you have enough data that, whether it will qualify. But even if it doesn't qualify as a large language model, maybe it will just be a your own, put your own name there, Orlando language model. Maybe it is not very large, but it speaks to your organization and it resolves problems for your own organization. So maybe large will not be in front of it as it is. All right. So what's the best place to set this up? Should you be setting this up on-prem? Everybody, tell me, should you set this up on Azure, on Google, on-prem? Where exactly should you set up this kind of environment? Can you even set it up on your laptop? Who knows? Possible, right? There's an open source one that you can. I mean, so yeah. There are many things in here. So one of my colleagues, he's obsessed with this. So this is what he's focused on. Um, then what's the? This is from this is the Google one, and I think this kit is free. So if you're somebody who's interested in something like this, like samples, case studies, all sorts of things, you'll find it here. Amazon has got something like that. Yeah, so everybody, I don't really know a lot about Keras, but I know about TensorFlow and PyTorch. So which one, uh, which one is your preference, right? So, but I mean, the Keras is probably the best. So here, well, at least for normal people like me, who their brains are not are as complex as the people like Ayola that work on things like this. So once again, that's important. You can go look for this Iris dataset because we're doing some work using this Iris dataset, and it's a free dataset, so you can look at it. It's brilliant, and I like the way it even breaks down this semi-supervised learning in itself. And the dataset is free, it's on GitHub, so hey, you can go check it out. We do this course. We've started in January, and it's free. It's free course, right? I think we're having it tomorrow. So we have two work streams where we do the business analyst side of things, and where we also do the developer side of things. So the people that are the specialists, they're like Python type people, while the other people are just normal human beings like myself. That we do this. All right, good. I'm done here. I wanted to finish early. So there's this course that the SMBP guys have worked on. That is like a 5-day training course. It's extremely deep, called the Qualified AI Practitioner. I've also contributed, and a lot of other people have also contributed content to the course. Lastly, so yeah, this is something that you might want to look at. They're still working on it. It's not out yet, but yeah, it's going to be very different because it's going to have a combination of things in there. Lastly, I wanted to put up a screen, and I'll bring in Mr. Orakwe here. Microsoft has got this scenario library. Let me put this in the chat room for everybody. Lastly, everybody, look at this scenario chat room. A lot of people don't take this into consideration. Like Microsoft has got this brilliant scenario library. And I think the analysts that here, everybody here, you should spend a lot of time here. You should spend a lot of time here. I hope you can see my screen. So they put these things for, I mean, it's all like Femi that is on the call knows this. They put in things for finance, HR. In our business analyst free AI class, we end up looking at some of these things. They even have another one that talks about industries. And of course, I think Microsoft is the best company when it comes to documentation. right? I think they always have excellent documentation. So if you come here, you will see a lot of things. So if you come to the downloadable documents, I think if you're really trying to get on top of AI, this is one of the things you should look at. So they will give you all sorts of scenarios. They will give you some PowerPoint documents. They will describe I mean, look at it. It's brilliant. They will summarize the content. Documents are available. I mean, it's brilliant. You should definitely, as a person, look at this Microsoft look at this Microsoft scenario library as a person. Good. I've gone beyond my bedtime. Thank you very much, everyone. It's my pleasure to have been able to present this on this beautiful day. And I welcome with us to the team on the call, Mr. Orakwe, who's going to be giving his own perspective to this entire topic in itself. So thank you very much once again, everyone. Mr. Orakwe, over to you. Please go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you, Dr. Orlando. And again, good afternoon to everyone who's on the call. My name is Orakwe John, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. Let me share my screen shortly and then just begin so that we, save time. Give me a second. Okay, just hold on. Let me sort this out. Um,
All right, everyone, please, if you have questions, thoughts, and opinion from my own session that I just completed, please drop them in the chat room. I'll try to answer some of them now. And there are also many experts here that are on the call. There's so many people that are great at these kinds of things. They will also share their own thoughts on the call. Musa Mohammed is here. Mohammed Abdul Fattah is here. I have many people that are here that are experts in their own right. Richard Nye is here, Olumide Ogini is here. So please drop your questions, drop your thoughts, drop your opinion in the chat room, and I'll share my slides with you. So if you've attended, I will share a combination of things with you as it is. So if you registered, we will share some of these things with you. So your questions and then your thoughts, please. And I want everybody, please share your thoughts, your questions, and your opinion in the chat room. Everybody, please, your questions. It might not even be a question. It might just be a thought. It might just be an opinion that you have. Please share your questions, your thoughts, and your opinion in the chat room, everybody. All right, so we will share the presentation with you. We will also share with you the recording. So we'll definitely share the recording with you also. So please, everybody, questions, thoughts, opinion. What is the big challenge that you see when it comes to the use and adoption of AI in organizations? Orakwe, are you ready? Please go ahead. Orakwe, are
just
you
give
ready?
me just a minute, just a minute.
Okay, good. So,
Apologies, yeah.
okay, that's once I see your screen, then I mean, you can go start speaking. So once again, the first question for me is, what exactly are the challenges? What do you think will be the big challenge for when it comes to the uh formal use of AI in organization? Formal use, right? We're talking about permitted use of AI in organizations. What do you think, everybody? Quickly, right? What do you think? Formal use of AI in organizations. What are the big challenges that you see, right? Um, okay. To regulate deepfakes, right? Okay, yes. I mean, Quincy is working on a landmark project. So everybody, I met Quincy in Nairobi and is working on a landmark project around deepfakes and things like that. So that definitely is something that organizations need to possibly worry about. Okay, that how are we doing deepfake or managing deepfake in our own organization? So that definitely is a thought. Can I hear from somebody else? What do you think are some of the challenges, right? What should, and of course, if you tell me the challenge as usual, I'll ask you that what is your prescribed solution? Okay. right? What is your word? Go. Somebody help me mute that person, please. Right? Okay. I'll see. As okay, so it's not a problem. Oh, Oludele, can you help me mute this person? Thank you. Right. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll see some of those things that I'm able to. Yeah, all right. Good. Please, can I get thoughts and opinion from others? Please, very quickly. Very quickly. Can I get thoughts? Can I get opinion from others? Right? Um, okay, I will share. So for example, the this course you can look for, let me share this in the chat room. You can look for this, everybody. You can follow Transformation College, and if any of the Transformation College, so you can get your children, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins. The course is free, so everybody. Yes, Akinwale, Shadow AI. Yes, that's going to definitely be a big challenge, right? That definitely is going to be a big challenge as it is, right? So, that's going to be a big challenge. Brain drain. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, so some people have started doing that. I remember something I saw on LinkedIn. Right, they said that when you look at everybody's CV is beginning to sound like ChatGPT, right? So people, and it's a skill set to be able to write your own CV and present yourself appropriately. Right, Oracle, when you're ready, I mean, please just take over. It's a big deal. Now, everybody's using ChatGPT to write their own CV, or you can send the presentation to me if you're struggling with something, right?
Okay.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
I think
Okay,
we're on now.
all right, good. All
my
right, so
my my
please keep,
apologies.
no problem. Keep the comments going. I
Yeah.
will allow Oracle to
Okay.
take his own session, and then we'll come back and we'll deal with all the questions and the thoughts and the opinion, everybody. Thank you. Go ahead, Oracle.
All right. Thank you. And again, thank you guys for joining today's session. So I think I'll just start with one company who have applied this ISO 42001 standard in a very interesting way, Johnson and Johnson, the global healthcare provider. What we've seen them do is something called the Thousand Flowers approach, right? So what they did after setting up the appropriate leadership to run their AI projects was that they ran about 900 Gen AI pilots, right? And why I chose this particular example is because it underscores the importance of leadership, which is the first component of this ISO 42001 standard. And also because we've seen companies who understand that AI is different from IT. Some of them, what they've done is hire chief AI officer, or gotten or skilled maybe their chief innovation officer or chief technology officer, so that they can run this project. And which is what Johnson and Johnson did. They have a CIO who is AI literate. So this person, what they did is they pursued this thousand flowers approach. They did 900 Gen AI pilots to understand the ones that actually present business value to them. Again, part of leadership, because what leadership typically does is that they look to discover all of the different AI applications that actually drive business objectives, not just AI for the sake of AI, right? So they did this, and from the 900 pilots they pursued, they found that about 10 to 15% of these pilots created 80% of the value, right? So you can say between 80 to 135 pilots, drove all the value that they saw, and then what they did was now fine tune their approach so that a lot of what they now pursued were just focused on that 80 to 135 projects from 900 projects that they did. But I mean, of course, they were able to do this because they are a very big organization. So it's very easy to spread all of these different projects in different offices around the world. But and then this is just to highlight something that Dr. Orlando said at the beginning: the necessity of having an AI strategy that aligns with the business objective, right? That's very key. And also on the personal level, it's something that people have to do, and this is necessary because as you'll discover when you the more you try to do this AI thing, there are different levels of maturity. right? So from level 1 to level 2 to 3, and then 4 and 5 depends on who you're asking. So if you ask a McKinsey consultant, they will tell you there are 5 levels of AI maturity. If you ask OpenAI, they will also tell you the same thing, that they are going from chatbots to human reasoners to AI agents, then to AI innovators, and then level 5 autonomous organizations, right? And then what we've noticed is that even though there's the ISO 42001 standard, the AI companies and AI labs actually move really fast. And I'll prove this statement in something called the task completion time horizon. So on the 22nd of March, right? On the 22nd of March, we saw the task completion time horizon shifted from 7 months to 4 months. So and in only early this month, that's early March of this year, we saw that research paper come out and say that the competency or competency or capabilities of today's AI agent doubles every 7 months. So what that means is that when GPT-2 came out in 2019, 2020, the task that they could complete was only about 35 seconds, was under a minute. But between 2019 and 2024, that task completion time horizon, it moved from just a couple of seconds to about an hour with Sonnet 3.7. That's the model from Anthropic AI. But this week, on the 22nd of March, that time fell from 7 months to 4 months, right? So that's what I mean when I say that the labs are actually, faster than some of the people who try to set the standard. So that advice that you need to have a personal AI strategy is very, very important for this reason, that the field moves really fast. And of course, you need to be someone who understands what's happening, where it's happening, how it's happening, so that you're future proof. So I've mentioned these 5 levels of AI maturity. So let me just try to explain a bit what it means. ChatGPT from November 2022, when it launched, and of course everybody saw that this will change the world, is a simple chatbot. A host of other LLMs and even small language models are all in that category. But then moving further, you have what is called human reasoners, and according to the AI lab, they say these things can solve PhD level problems. OpenAI's O1, the O3 model, DeepSeek from China, which went viral in January of this year. Those are all level 2 AI systems. Then level 3, you have agents, which of course is the talk of town today. But beyond agents, you have innovators, and then level 5, you have autonomous organizations. So the expectation of these companies, especially Anthropic AI, is that at some point, and Anthropic this week announced that by 2026, you're going to have virtual AI employees. If you ask their CEO, Dario, he will tell you that he expects that you're going to have millions of data analysts, millions of geniuses, Nobel Prize level minds in data centers by 2026, 2027. That's level 5 of this whole conversation. And even if you're looking at all of these standards that we're talking about now, yeah, some of them do not exactly cover these expectations from these companies, because in some sense they are so outlandish, that it's difficult to even imagine what that looks like, right? What this new this new AI workforce looks like, right? Because even at this point, it's mostly conversations around augmentation. How do we make sure that a CEO is a lot more efficient, or a project manager or operations manager is a lot more efficient? But these AI labs are thinking way out. Like they're thinking far out, much more wilder than anything that a lot of people are saying. So for example, early this year, not early last year actually, Amazon did something with Amazon Q, where they saved 4,500 developer years and about $260 million. So what they simply did was that they used their AI system to refactor their code. So without using human developers to do this job, they were able to refactor their code. That's a level 3 AI system. Is an agent, because then you just give it the the old code base and ask it to refactor, and it does the job as a human being would actually do it. And even with all of the complaints that people have, and all the things that they say about vibe coding and its dangers, and of course there are risks attached to those things, right? Serious risks. the people, the senior developers or the people who use these tools or can already see the benefits of using them. And even at Walmart, we saw them crunch 850 million data points using a level 3 AI system. I focused on code because development is that part of knowledge work that can be used to automate every other thing. And what these labs are looking at is that if they are able to automate coding, right? If you're able to do that, then it's as good as they can automate AI research and automate a bunch of other parts of knowledge work, right? So and on the screen now you see just how much these coding agents are getting. When O3 was launched December of 2024, over 70% of what the real life coding tasks were able to be resolved by this system. And then you can see what the lab is also thinking. Neil Ajaraku is one of the engineers at OpenAI. This tweet was made in reference to their deep research tool, which I don't know how many have used it here, but deep research is supposed to just take a query from you and then go to the internet and pull insights from over 100 websites or 500 websites. Sometimes it can go to over tens of thousands of websites. I've seen it do research pulled from over 20,000 websites, right? And then according to them, this is supposed to just help you automate the process of doing research, which is a part of knowledge work everywhere you go. Sam Altman claims that for 50 cents of compute, you can achieve $500 of value, and then for them the next stop is about using 5 cents of compute for $5,000 of value. But I've seen someone, right? I've seen someone use this same 50 cents of compute to generate $150,000 worth of value, right? So it just depends on the kind of knowledge work that the person is actually pursuing. At any rate, what we know for a fact, what we see happening for a fact is just that this whole automation drive that we're looking at is crashing the cost of knowledge work everywhere. And this is a graph I like to use a lot. Legal document review. Cost per lead. If you're doing if you're doing lead generation or if you're doing image creation, you can see just how these costs have crashed from spending over $200, $500, $700 in some case. The cost for some of these work is now at 0.1 0.01 and thereabout. So it's clear that what is happening now is, sorry, I think I moved. Yeah, what is happening now is happening at an unprecedented level, right? But what is necessary to understand? What is necessary to understand is the 10-20-70 principle, right? The 10-20-70 principle, meaning that like all of these conversations, and I think the standards also reflect this, is that AI is fundamentally a people and cultural transformation problem, which is why leadership is the first thing that must be considered. 10-20-70, meaning that all of the technology conversations that dominates social media, all of the what you see on LinkedIn and everywhere else is only 10% of the actual conversation, AI models, the algorithms, and hardware infrastructure. And I've seen this in several companies, in at least 12 different companies. All of the conversations about the technology and tools is just 10%. You can have an AI chatbot for customer service. Then the other 20% is the business processes and the systems, right? How it aligns with workflows, data pipelines, and the systems that Dr. Orlando already covered. And then the people and culture aspect. Why I've chosen this, why I've chosen to talk about this is that sometime in 2023, July of 2023, something happened at Harvard Medical School. Now there was this very competent AI system that was introduced. It's super capable at diagnosis. So it was given to 180 radiologists. Now the expectation is that if you give them this sort of tool, it is going to improve how they do diagnosis. It's going to improve their workflow. But they all rejected it. and they rejected it because they were afraid of the technology. It will happen in many other domains of many other domains of knowledge work. Personally, on Easter Sunday, I shared a tool called Higgsfield AI. Higgsfield is supposed to help CGI VFX artists automate a lot of their work, and I got a very nasty feedback from the CGI VFX community. That's what people and cultural transformation represents. A lot of people will reject the tool out of fear, right? So a lot of what you will do as a business person within your company is exactly like what Johnson and Johnson have done. The purpose of the Gen AI pilots, in 900 Gen AI pilots they did, part of the core activity was just people and cultural transformation, understanding how people relate with these tools. That's very right? And another, how we see different, public and private institutions adjust to this is in the UAE, where we've done some projects. The government since 2018 have instituted, public and private training program just so that people are aware of what is happening, and then they first help them make the mental shift before they then talk about all the tools and business processes. And another institution that I've seen do this really well is the European Union, the EU AI Act. Since the 2nd of February this year, what they've done is that every company within the EU is mandated to provide AI literacy training to all of their employees, right? But of course, like Dr. Orlando said, unless the CBN or some other regulator mandates companies in Nigeria or in some other parts of Africa to do this, they wouldn't exactly take the initiative to go for these trainings. But which is why the personal AI strategy is important. If you take the initiative now, it also means that when you're migrating to the EU or to some other place, you are AI literate enough to take up interesting job positions. In fact, before I leave this particular slide, I think it's important to mention that from the Microsoft Work Trend Index 2024, we saw that about 66% of managers or hiring managers will not hire an employee if they do not have the right AI skills, right? And part of I think the most important AI skill that anybody can have now is curiosity, right? Curiosity, because of how fast the field changes. So I started with the story of what I mentioned, something called the task completion time horizon, which is that the capability of AI agents is improving by the day. When we started this year, it was 7 months. It used to be that every 7 months, the capability of AI agents will double. But as I speak now, on the 22nd of March, we saw that the new time frame has been compressed. It's now every 4 months. So you can expect that by maybe 2026 or within 2027, we're going to see systems that can do 8-hour work weeks, like the work that would actually take a human being 8 hours, 8 hours to complete as one day, and maybe 40 hours to do. We're going to see systems that will be able to do that. So which is why I say that the most important skill to have personally and even as a company is just curiosity, to be able to identify what kind of changes are happening in the environment, to determine how they impact you personally and how they impact the business. Extrapolate over a particular time frame. How does this affect your overall business objectives, and then anticipate how do you buy or build, if you're going to build something that delivers value like what you've seen outside, or if you're just going to buy a solution. Those are all different considerations. But the important thing to note is that you just have to be extremely curious, and then of course work on all of the different skills that all of the different skills. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And just and then focus on skills, human skills, being, thinking, relating, collaborating, and acting. These are all humanity skills that a lot of people expect will be really, really primal when this revolution is complete. Of course, when I say this revolution is complete, I mean that you have systems like artificial general intelligence, which are computer systems, AI systems, digital systems that can do virtually any kind of knowledge work that a human can do. At this point in time, then it will matter that we're, very human. right? And then just to mention this, the CEO of DeepSeek, Lian Wanfeng, said he prefers humanities graduates to techies, right? And there's a reason why this is, and because this is just to emphasize that in this AI conversation, as much as techies are necessary, and we've seen that with Dr. Orlando's presentation, you need a lot of technical know-how to be able to pull this off. As I've mentioned before, AI follows the 10-20-70 principle. 10-20-70 meaning that 10% about the technology and tools, 20% about the business processes and systems, and then 70% about people and culture transformation. What that means is that for you to drive value long term, you need a lot of people who understand people and cultures, and of course, who know how to drive change management across institutions, both public and private. And then what that also means is that there are all kinds of opportunities, technical and non-technical opportunities, from the AI strategist to the opportunities porter to the project manager to the AI educator and the trainer. And only recently, the one who is called the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, also spoke about this reality. Even the CEO of Google DeepMind spoke about this reality that you need people who are not only technical, but people who understand other people and who understand other cultures to make the most of this time. And then this is that metric that I've been telling you about a lot, the task completion time horizon. Let's just use this particular one. So this was published on the 22nd of March, so just about a few days ago, right? Before March 22nd, the task completion time horizon was 7 months, which is that every 7 months the capabilities of AI systems improve so well that they complete tasks at 50% accuracy, right? But since 22nd of from 2019 to 2020, from 2019 to 2024, it was 7 months. Then from 2024 to 2025, it's now 4 months. And if you do the extrapolations over time, it means that by 2027, 2028, we'll have systems that are super competent. Be that as it may, what we also observe is that since 2000, a lot of the jobs, that about 10% of the jobs that we have today, didn't exist didn't exist, in the year 2000. Because when you see a graph like this, what it means is that, and then you understand that the AI labs and even some of these institutes are planning for autonomous organizations level 5 as early as 2030. It could mean that a lot of people might find themselves in very compromising situations or very sorry situations, which is that they may not have jobs. But what we've also observed so far is that, for the fact that from the year 2000, 10% of the jobs that we have today were created in this time frame. The expectation is that there will be all kinds of new opportunities that will also arise, right? The data curator, Dr. Orlando mentioned, the guy who's always working with the Azure data pipeline. He could be a data curator, systems auditor, and all kinds of interesting opportunities are opening up within this within this space. And then one thing I also mentioned, because this is very close to my heart, is we are confronting a very different challenge on the continent. And then because most of us here are Africans, the expectation is that this is Africa's century, yes. But what we're also seeing is that in this century, we're now we're seeing the rise of machines that are going to wrestle some form of economic agency from humans. Even the expectation, yes, is that we will account for 96% of the net labor force growth in the world, going all the way into 2040, which is not a long time. That's within the next 15 years. But this will happen alongside a reality where machines are wrestling economic agency from humans. So the only way that we can prepare for this is by doing what I believe Dr. Orlando has talked about: having a personal AI strategy, and then reaching out to as many people as possible, so that they are ready for what is coming. And then to end, I already mentioned this in passing. Which is that there's something called automation neglect. automation neglect being that people see that, oh, great, this technology is coming, and maybe they're only just talking about it and they're not actively, building or trying to integrate it into their own life or into their own, into their own business. Like I said, like I said during the presentation, we had 180 radiologists at Harvard Business School. They were given access to um, a good AI system, a super efficient AI system, which was supposed to help them in their work. They refused to use it, and they refused to use it because it was, they felt threatened by the technology, which is why I said that, there's a 10-20-70 principle that must be followed. Every leader, like, once if you have an AI leadership, have to understand this, and then you just pursue, write the proper AI policy that emphasizes the people, right? And then considers the 5 levels of AI maturity. Depends on however you choose to do it, from just regular chatbots to to human reasoners to AI agents to innovators, and then autonomous organizations. You're going to function differently at all of those different levels. And then the way you prevent automation neglect, so that when you give your people AI systems, and they don't reject it, the way to handle that, just make sure that they have the right education, they have the right awareness, and then you can use something called the McKinsey framework. That they are aware of the technology, they are actively using it, then they reach level of transformation and systemic competence with the technology. So thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me today. I'm sorry if the network was a bit choppy, right? And maybe there was some background noise. But if there's any question, yes, I'll be more than happy to take them now.
Thank you very much, Orakwe. Definitely there are loads of questions as it is. So just take some of them down so that you can answer your bit, and then I can answer my bit later. So first, I'm just trying to read here. Uh, how is AI embedded in business security risk? So that's number one, Orakwe, that it says, how is AI embedded inside of business security risk? I don't know what that is, but that's how the person has put it. Number two, Orakwe, is how can we implement AI tools for process improvement? That's number two. How do we do it for process improvement? Number three, Orakwe, are you with me?
Yes, I am. Yes, I keep going. Yeah,
Okay, did you hear the first two?
Yeah, business risk, process improvement. Yes.
Good. And then the third one here is how can we integrate artificial intelligence within the financial system, right? Or financial management system. That how can we integrate artificial intelligence within a financial system? So I don't know whether that person is talking about the finance industry or talking about like accounting, but you can deal with it from both perspectives. So in terms of AI inside of accounting and finance, and then AI in the financial services industry in itself. So it'll be good you can share your thoughts and your opinion around those three things, and I can take some of the other ones as it is. All right, great.
Oh, okay. So financial management system. What I know about AI, what I know AI is very good at is reducing the time it takes to do a particular business activity, right? And I know for a particular tool, it's called Adam by Times AI. What they do is that they cut down the time
You know, say
takes to do.
Orakwe slowly. I mean, we're not experts like
Oh,
you. Maybe you want to drop the, do you want to drop the name of the tool in the chat room so
okay.
that we would know what you're
All right.
referring to? Because I know that
Okay.
you're a tool guru, so you have like a dozen and one different tools, right?
Okay.
So maybe you
All right.
want to
Adam
drop the name and then
by Time
any other one,
AI.
yeah. So that and then go ahead with your explanation. Go ahead.
Okay. So I've dropped the name of the tool. Right. It's a Nigerian company, so you can always, if you need to connect with the CEO, just let me know. I'll introduce him to you, right? So what they do is that they take all of your financial data and they help you automate accounting processes, right? So I mean, of course, the advice is still that even if you're automating your process, if you're using whatever kind of AI agent, it is necessary for you to have the expertise to judge whatever output is coming from the system, right? Because no matter how good any AI system is today, they still carry some level of risk. The only way to checkmate that risk is that you are a subject matter expert in the field in which that AI is performing the task. So a human is still needed to supervise the process. So, for instance, if you're choosing to try out this tool by Times AI, it is necessary that whoever is supervising that process carries enough subject matter expertise to judge the output of that system, right? And then it can do this for so what they are in accounting, but there are many other financial processes that AI can also help. So May 20 of last year, there was a report from Chicago, from Booth School of Business, Chicago. We saw that AI, that's GPT-4, can be superhuman at financial statement analysis. That paper is just, all you have to do is just simply search for AI superhuman at financial statement analysis, Booth School of Business, right? You find that paper. The interesting thing about it is that they documented how they achieved their result, the prompts they used to achieve their result. They even made a simple app. It's called a GPT. They made a GPT that they used to analyze, financial statements, quarterly reports, earnings reports, and what have you. So that's another paper that I think you should check out. The important thing to note.
I'm trying to listen to you and to look for the paper. Please, Orakwe, just look for the paper and share the link after you're done.
Oh,
Right? So go ahead.
okay, all right. I'll share a link to that paper, right? So
Right.
and then I usually make a very bold claim that if you run a financial service business, right, or let's say you're someone like Chapel Hill Denham in Lagos, right, that it is possible to take final year students from a university, teach them how to prompt with GPT-4, and you would achieve close to the level of performance of an analyst who has spent 5 years on the job, right? So what this means is that it's democratizing experience in some sense for people who are in the financial business. And then for process improvement, what I would say is that there's something called Kasparov's law of applied AI, right? What that means is that, and this was observed in 97, 98. So just in a summary, what happened was that they noticed that when you pair a let's say a not so good professional with a very experienced professional, right? If you give access to AI to the superior professional and the inferior professional, the AI has a way of canceling out the strategic and calculative advantage that the superior professional has over the other one. But the way to achieve that is that you have to properly define the process. Like you have to give this inferior person a properly defined process, which is why one of the correct ways to make AI work, and I think the standard covers it, is that you have to properly define the business process that you're even trying to improve in the first place, right? And then the way I know I've seen AI improve business processes is just the ability to cut down the time it takes to create value. This particular company is a pharmaceutical company, so they have this knowledge transfer process. The R&D, when they finish the R&D, they have to transfer that R&D to manufacturing. The way they were able to cut down that time is that they built a model, right? Because in this kind of approach, you cannot just buy an off-the-shelf solution. They built a model that allowed them to transfer R&D to manufacturing. From 9 months, they cut it down to about 25 minutes, right? So that's like radical process improvement. And then you don't even have to you don't even need an AI expert for this. You can simply go to ChatGPT or some other AI agent out there, or even deep research. As long as the process is not sensitive, or it's not contestable in court, what you can do is describe your business process as clearly as possible, and then you can just have a conversation with the agent. It will help you find ways to improve it. And then there's a website called let me just add this to the chat. There's an AI for that.com. there is there's an AI for that. Excuse me. Yeah. So this is a place where this is a place where you can discover all kinds of interesting AI tools and even AI agents that can help with different processes. So the way to use this particular website is if you have if you're like a project manager, you can go there, click on the work of a project manager. You will discover your exposure. The first thing you will learn there is your exposure to AI. Exposure being how much, what's the percentage of your job that can actually be done by AI tools today, right? Every profession is exposed. The CEO, you could find that the CEO is 80% exposed. The project manager may be 75% exposed. You find your exposure, and then after your exposure, you find a list of different tools that can help you automate your task, right? So the part of the website where you should find this is the job impact index, right? There's an AI4that.com. There's a job impact index, which helps you see the level of exposure of your job. And then you can actually use that to redesign jobs within different companies. And then business risk. AI carries a lot of risk, like I've said. So the number one risk that AI carries is that hallucinations remain. Like hallucinations are a part of many AI systems that you have today. The way to checkmate the hallucination problem today is that you must always, whatever AI agent or whatever AI chatbot you're using, you must have the professional expertise, the subject matter expertise to verify the output of that system, right? So you cannot give like these Adams by Times AI that I've mentioned to you. You cannot give it to an operations person who doesn't understand finance and expect him to provide accurate value, right? It has to be that you're giving Adams to someone who's in finance, they have subject matter expertise, and they can verify that it has synthesized these financial statements and earnings for it's giving them this report, and they can say that yes, this is actually true. So that's the number one business risk. That's the number one business risk that I would mention. And of course, the other one is also, I heard that someone on this call is working on solving the deepfake problem. We saw someone lose $25 billion last year. That was went viral. It was everywhere, right? Another risk I would say is that the cybersecurity landscape is evolving really fast because of all of these different AI systems. So I would say that it's important, like at a like baseline, that everybody within every company understands some of the risks attached to deep fakes, so that at least they are protected, and they don't suffer the loss of 25 billion like it happened in Hong Kong with the employee of Arrow Engineering Services. So that's how I would speak to the three questions.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Orakwe. Thank you for that. I think lastly, because we need to bring this to a close in the next 5 minutes, please don't forget, you're going to drop the link for the white paper. Somebody else asked something around the long-term impact. I like this question actually from Paul. It said the consequences of AI impact on the economy. So let's talk about the negative side, right? So you and I know of all the positives, right? So can we really say that something is over-reliance on AI? What else is a general negative impact of AI? So for example, if you and I are talking about um, advances that were made in mechanical engineering, the creation of a generator that uses diesel. The long-term effect of it is now the climate problem that you and I have. Where at some point in time, the entire world was celebrating that particular thing, but that particular thing has now cars and all that have destroyed the ozone layer, and now we're dealing with the different sets of problems. As much as you and I know about all the great things, efficiency and the resource reduction things when it comes to AI. What are some of the negatives, right? The negative impact of AI and over reliance on it for the entire world.
So the first is cognitive offloading, right? And we've seen multiple research papers come out with this. And even when ChatGPT went down 12th of December last year, a lot of people reported that they could not do any work, right? They couldn't do any work because it's as if they outsourced their agency to this AI system. So the very first danger is cognitive offloading. So in addition to that white paper, I'm going to share the paper that discusses this particular one. It's something that everybody has to take note of. And the way I've seen a government try to tackle this is that in Singapore, for instance, they designed a national AI upskilling program. What it did, and because of what was observed with the cognitive offloading, they found out that boomers, like much older people, have higher agency. They are more likely to think for themselves and work out the solution themselves, even when they have AI, the help of AI. But younger people are quicker to trust the AI system. So what they did was that in the AI upskilling program, they paired older people, like those in their 50s and 60s, with those in their 20s and 30s. So the younger people bring the fire and the pep and the willingness to actually try out this tool, but the much older people bring the wisdom and help them balance out that eagerness, right? So that way they don't suffer as much cognitive offloading. And cognitive offloading is just simply assigning all of your agency, all of your mental capacity to this AI system to do, right? And of course, like I said, the younger people are more prone to actually want to do this. And then one way to understand, like, I always say that AI is a cognitive revolution, because one thing that a professor told me once is that when the printing press was invented, right, you can think of the printing press as labor to the muscles. There's a part of the brain that is responsible for processing information when we go to school to learn, the prefrontal cortex. He would argue, and I believe the argument that after the printing press was made and books became common and schools became a thing, the prefrontal cortex of a lot of people of the public became very active, right? And then we built schools that trained and rewarded people for the use of their prefrontal cortex. What AI is bringing now is a world where a different set of skill sets would train for and rewarded for, right? So we're now going into a time where metacognition, the ability to think about what you're thinking about, and then strategic intelligence, the ability to assign intelligence to do a job on your behalf. So in some sense, it's like we're all managers, right? Like we're all managers. Like we have to have a finely defined process, right? Metacognition, and then we can assign these different tools to do the jobs for us, but not at the detriment of the human skills that already brought us to this point. So cognitive offloading is something that must be taken note of. The Chinese, yes, they have said they're going to every primary school person from the age of 6, they're going to start to learn AI, but they are doing it in a very controlled way, so that these people do not instead of using AI as an enabler, it doesn't become a crutch, right? That they can't walk without. So that paper discusses cognitive overloading, what it is, and how different persons and companies can actually approach it so that it doesn't harm them in the long term. But as for the upside, oh wow, it's maybe I will end with this. The Redalio, he said something very remarkable, and I didn't think of it before. When the trade war started, he mentioned something that America is run by 1% of their about 10% of their population who are very extraordinary, right? 10% of the population is about um my apologies, 1% is about 3 million people. There are 3 million people who we
Actually,
can
it's
say
actually
are
1%,
geniuses.
actually, yeah. 1%,
Yeah,
yeah.
1%. Percent 1% who are geniuses, they overproduce, right? And then you have an extra 10%, another 30 million people who support this 1%, and they're doing great stuff. If you don't check what the CEO of Anthropic has said, you're going to have billions of Nobel Prize mined data centers. It means that we can, in some sense, imitate what they've done within America and all of these different places in different parts of the world. If if we have our own resources and we have our own data centers and all of that, right? So, I mean, these are all the positives, but the negatives remain. Cognitive uploading is a big problem if we do not address it.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. A big round of applause for Orakwe. I told you, he's a great guy. He's an expert. He's also my tutor on one hand, as it is. So, I bought his course from the Takedia, and I've even been a participant. So, please, everybody, a big round of applause. A big round of applause for Orakwe as we bring this to a beautiful close. Thank you very much, Orakwe. You
Let me get
still
those
owe
papers
us
and just
the
share.
yeah, the paper and any other tool because we've got people from different backgrounds and different environments here. If you think, what would be maybe the last question I'll say, you should just drop the answer to that in the chat room. What will be your top five tools, right? The top five must-have tools that any and everybody should have, and maybe also the white papers. Just drop them in the chat room for us. Thank you very much, Orakwe. Once again, a big thank you, everybody, to him. Let me round this up very quickly. As I said, if you've attended, we will share the slides with you and all that. Somebody had asked a question around innovation. So this one, right? So there's some parts of my slide that I did not share, right, earlier. I also did put this here. There's an agent for that. I just hadn't gotten, right? So once again, thank you very much, Orakwe, for pulling that up. So, I mean, every time we talk about innovation to people, we always talk about these types of innovation, right? That there are many types of innovation. So these are 10 types of innovation, right? So the the thinking here is how can artificial intelligence help me? How can AI help me with the different types of innovation for my own organization? So that's a thought, right? That you need to go away with. I start to say that my organization needs to innovate. How am I going to do this? Am I going to build? Am I going to buy? What can I leverage? How is ChatGPT going to help me? As a person, I'm trying to solve problems for certain industries that I'll say that ChatGPT can't help me, like the general ChatGPT. I have to build. I'm working actively. My day job is I do three things, right? I train, I audit, and I architect systems. That's the part that a lot of people don't know. My background is completely in IT. I used to architect all sorts of Microsoft platforms and things like that. So I'm trying to solve problems for organizations that the general chat GPT is not going to help. I'm trying to do something in certain industries that we need to build the GPT for that particular industry using specifically the industry data so that we can take out all the noise and we can avoid every form of hallucination or the other inside of what it is that we are doing. So it's almost like we need a governance model around the data that we're going to use both in the testing and in the training because it's specifically for an organization or specifically for a certain industry. So once again, go away with this particular question, right? And ask yourself, how is AI going to help my own organization specifically around innovation here? You can still use the general ChatGPT to give you thoughts, to give you advice, but ChatGPT cannot tell you, for example, our organization training heights, and then ChatGPT cannot say that what are the big risks that we're facing. The person who knows about those risks is Muiwa and maybe the accountant, maybe myself and a couple of other people, because the information that we have, ChatGPT does not have it. It can aggregate around the world and give us insight to say training organizations face these types of things, but some of those things are not unique to us. So on the innovation side, go think about this. The other question somebody was asking me, I'd shown you, so I mean, as I said, we'll send the slide to you. The other question somebody was asking me was around the person was saying that yes, internal auditors. Yes, thank you very much. I mean, if you're an internal auditor, I mean, because I'm an auditor myself, and it doesn't matter whether you're internal or external, everything that I've talked about here today, you should know, right? You have to know that. So your knowledge of what you're going to do is not in any kind of textbook or something like that. You're going to have to really skill up when it comes to some of these things. So Oracle has mentioned all sorts of tools, all sorts of white papers. I mean, as for tools, it's an endless number of tools that you have globally when it comes to this. But your organization cannot allow any and everybody to use any and every tool. It's the same, it can't work that way. And that's why some of the things that I spoke about, how do you build a custom specific, how do you build a custom specific the AI strategy and policy and acceptable use for your own organization? Or I mean, our colleague that works with me worked on this yesterday night. So he's working on some kind of pipeline and branching and how this is going. And all this is directly on Azure as it is. So if you're an auditor, how are you going to audit this? What if you don't know about it? So you've got to literally take off your audit cap and just focus on learning the basics of some of these things that I had covered much earlier as it is. So that's why I put a lot of focus on this particular standard, because I've been seeing people come to me telling me that, oh, I have a 4200. I'm like, your concern is not really about 4200 right now. For your own organization, you really even have to get on top of this thing. So if you've got to be able to see what they're using and why they're using it and how they're using it. I have a slide somewhere. I mean, so people are talking about, because this is the management system, everybody. Yes, this is the one an organization will be looking to get certified to. But for most African organizations, all right, Oracle was talking about Johnson and Johnson. For most African organizations, we're not here yet. We're not even close to this. We're not here yet. We're not close to this. Because when you talk about 4.3 here on my screen, you're not going to be looking at scope like location scope. You're going to be focused on the scope of artificial intelligence use in the organization. It will not be focused on location. And then if you go to the annex, right, you can see something on the AI controls in themselves, and then the risk around a lot of these things. When you get to 6.3, you're not going to be looking at general changes in the organization. You're going to be looking at changes specifically to the AI system in itself. So this is different. Oracle kept on mentioning some KPIs around kept on mentioning some KPIs. Those are the things that will come on around 9.1. So this is not 9001. This is not 27001. It's specific to artificial intelligence. And so if you're struggling with some of the standards that I had mentioned here, especially 22989 and the 23053, you cannot audit it. You cannot intelligently audit it if you don't understand some of these things as it is. All right. I think lastly, there are all sorts of exams. So everybody, if you go online, you'll see AWS AI exam. You'll see a client of mine just asked that I should send them a CV for somebody who's really good. In fact, I have so many requests for AI people that I'm never able to fulfill it. In fact, that's the reason why we had to start to do this particular course, because there's a guy that called me from the US and said that, oh, can I give him 20 automation specialists? And I'm like, well, I don't even have 5. I mean, the people that I can beat my chest that they can actually deliver, that he wants to outsource some work to us, to Africa. But we don't have people with these skill sets, neither on the AI, on the business analyst side, or on the automation specialist side. Orakwe here, what he has done on this call is a lot on the business analysis side. So when he starts to talk about the decline or in one part in the time it takes to be able to carry out certain things and things like that, is really on the analyst side. So a company called me from the US and said, can I give them 10, 20? I'm like, dude, it was last year. Like, I don't even have one, right? So that's why we're doing this training, and we're hoping that we can get people out of this, that we can then set up that remote work where, they can outsource work from the US and all the other parts of the world to Nigeria, to Ghana, to Kenya, and we can build a real AI hub around here. We've got a younger population than parts of the world. We also have good educational system. People don't realize that we do. Somebody was explaining recently. He said, "Do you know that in a lot of African countries, with $1,000 you can go through the whole of university." With $1,000, especially the public universities, that doesn't happen anywhere around the world. That is an advantage. You might say the quality of education is not great, but look at the quality of the amount of money that you're paying. right? So, and apart from that, if you go everywhere around the world, you're going to have a medical doctor. I'm in the UK. I'm looking on there's something that they're featuring on on TV, and I knew I was going to get engineers. I knew they were going to feature two. I knew an Indian was going to come up as they did a groundbreaking what's that thing, surgery. It was yesterday, and I knew I was going to see two things. And the next thing was an Indian doctor. I was telling myself the next thing is going to be a Nigerian doctor. Boom, the next thing is a Nigerian doctor, right? So we've got literally the best education per pound or per dollar around the world, and that is an advantage. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. We will share many links on many things with you. We definitely look forward to having you in future sessions. Tomorrow we're going to be doing something on fraud and forensics. Somebody on my team should please share the link in the chat room. It's going to be brilliant. Something on fraud, forensic. We actually have somebody who is an expert, just like Oracle has come in, that is also going to join us on that call. So it's a big deal around fraud and forensics tomorrow, and we hope to have all of you on that particular call. So once again, thank you very much, everyone, and everybody that has wished me happy birthday online in the chat room. Thank you very much. We will send the presentation, we'll send the recording link, and we'll also send a free foundation exam to all of you for attending. That's my birthday gift to everybody that is here today. Thank you once again. Thank you very much. Have a great remaining part of your day. It's always our pleasure to have all of you on these things that we do. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you. Oracle has put some important things in the chat room. Everybody, please do not please ensure you take advantage of all those things that he's put in the chat room. Oracle, once again, thank you, big thank you for taking the time out to be on this call today. We really do appreciate you as it is. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Have a great remaining part of your week. And if you get the chance, please come on our fraud management system, fraud control, and the things that we're going to be doing tomorrow. We'll share the link with everybody, and we definitely look forward to you. Thank you. Thank you. All my birthday wishes. I've had a dozen and one calls today. I haven't had the chance to respond to all the birthday calls, but I will definitely do that immediately after now. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. God bless you.